Make dinner with me, auntie version. All right, everyone, I'm gonna teach you how to make oven bannock, and this is a really simple way. This is how I learned, and I learned from my Kokom. So you're gonna get your flour, of course. I'm just using the Great Value one. Then your baking powder, it doesn't matter what, it doesn't really matter, but I use this one. Then you're also gonna need salt. I just have this one. I usually use regular salt, but all I have is sea salt, so that's fine. And then I'm just gonna be using, I would recommend vegetable oil, but I'm gonna use just canola oil. This one. Got your 2 eggs. You're gonna need a fork for mixing. Your bowl, I'm gonna use this Halloween bowl. Okay, so let's start by adding the flour. I know usually people add use measurements. You can, but the way I was taught, we don't use any measurements. So I'm just gonna eyeball it. Really just depends on how much you want. This is probably like, I'm gonna say like 5-6 cups maybe. All right, baking powder. So what you're gonna do is you're going to use your palm like this. Maybe like a little bit more. All right. The same with salt. This is probably like a dash. I'm gonna do a little bit more just because I like salt. Now you're gonna mix this up. Again, do it how you want. You can use the fork. I just like to use my hands and be hands-on. Really get that well mixed together. I think I add a little bit more salt. I don't want it to be too salty. Some people like to add sugar. I'm not gonna add sugar to this one. Okay, now you're gonna make a little dome with the flour. Just a dome. And it's gonna look like this. Next, you're gonna fill with water. You can also use milk, but I just like to use water. And I'm gonna do it to about like where the dome ends, like so right here. Water is added. Now I'm just gonna add my eggs. And then also my oil. I'm not gonna add a lot of oil, probably like 2 cups maybe. Or 2.5. Now you're gonna get your fork. And you're just gonna start at the edges and slowly whisk clockwise. Or fast, I mean. What I mean by slowly is like one in place. You just want it to slowly go together. Okay, this is the consistency. So I'm going to get some flour and put it on the counter like this. Then I'm just gonna pour this mixture onto the counter. Now you're gonna have this consistency. You're gonna slowly bring all of this to the middle. It's a little bit flour here. And just keep doing this until you get the consistency of almost dough. Now you don't want to knead the bannock too much, because that's just gonna make it tough. You just want to have this good consistency. Okay, now you're gonna get your pan ready. And if you bake, you know this trick with there's lots of dough on your hands, you just get more flour and get your pan. And I'm gonna lightly grease it with some oil. Not a lot though, just enough to get the flour. I usually do this with lard, but I don't have lard right now, so nice and angled up. Get that flour. Just so the bannock doesn't stick. Just like this. Okay, now we're gonna move your bannock to here, and then you're gonna want to cook it for about like half an hour on one side, flip it, and then another half an hour on the other side. So that's 1 hour you're gonna cook this bannock for. Now I'm gonna get the fork that I had prior, and I'm just gonna poke. I can't really see. Hold on. and make sure that you don't burn your bannock. All right, next thing we're gonna prepare is the chili. Let's cut these carrots. All right, I like to personally go like this to my carrots. Before anyone asks, no, I didn't go to culinary school. Just kidding, no one was gonna ask. Gee. I wasn't gonna let myself, like my own emotions, feel invalidated because I felt some sort of way towards a person, and also my family. Like I didn't want my mom to deal with the stuff for me that I was creating for myself, but since no one wanted to talk to me, she had to deal with most of it, and I didn't like that. But then again, I just, the way I wanted to feel about it is I just didn't want to deal with it in my life anymore. Like I wanted it totally gone from my life. And yeah, like I'm trying to move on now. And that's just what's happening now. So this is what the vegetable mix looks like for the chili. Oops. Or this isn't even like half an onion, this is like partly an onion. This is what it looks like. So I'm gonna go cook the hamburger and then add in the broth mix, the vegetables, let it simmer together, the tomato paste, you know, and we'll just get it. An hour later, our bannock is done, and so is our chili. Now I'm gonna want to cool this off for about 15 and 20 minutes before I actually cut into it. If you want it to last longer, I don't recommend you cutting it with a knife. Just like break it with your hands, because the knife is just gonna make it hard, and you don't want your bannock to be hard. So also I'm gonna butter this and then stand it against the stove. So all right, I'm gonna get some butter. Usually I do this with lard, but I don't have lard. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to butter this. When it's still hot, you want to do this when it's like just fresh out of the oven. Perfect. it's time to assemble.
Tomasu.
Okay, move, get out. Alright. One of you are getting this.
No, you're not. You stink like poop. No, you're not. You stink like poop.
Okay, Nicole.
No, you're not.
I'll give you guys 2 scoops for now, and then I'm gonna give you guys 2 scoops for now, and when you get hungry later, you can have a couple more scoops if you're still hungry. Who wants bannock? Just like that. Whoa. Nice and bannocky. Huh? Oh, you have hiccups? Okay, where's your sippy cup then? I'll get you something. Yeah. This bannock is literally so perfect. Like, ugh, good job. Just kidding. Now this is what it's looking like. Nice and juicy bannock. Hi, my toe.